This is Mrs. Sebastian, and we're going to look at applications of percent, the unit test. Write 7/8 as a percent. Round to the nearest hundredth of a percent where necessary. So we're going to do 7/8, and remember a percent is part of 100. So we're going to put x over 100. And then we're going to cross multiply. So 7 times 100 equals 8 times x. 7 times 100 is 700. And then we're going to divide both sides by 8. 700 divided by 8 gives us 87.5. So 7/8 as a percent. Write the decimal 0.053 or 53 thousandths as a percent. So when you're writing as a decimal as a percent, remember that this 53, the first 0 is in the 10th position. The second one is in the 100th position, and the last one is in the thousandths. So you can move it 1, 2 spots, because remember they are parts of 100. So it would be 5.3%. You could also rewrite it as 53 over 1,000. Okay, equals what over 100? Okay, you could do it that way and do 5,300 equals 1,000. Divide both sides by 1,000. And you do get 5.3. And that would still be percent. So you can do that either way. If you feel more comfortable moving it 2 spots to the right, you can do that. You could also set up a proportion and solve it that way. After a study was completed at a local college, it was found that 380 in 1,108 students live with their parents. What percent of the students lives with their parents? Round to the nearest hundredth of a percent where necessary. So we're going to do 380 over 1,108 equals what over 100? So we're going to cross multiply 380 times 100 equals 1,108 times x. Then we're going to get rid of the 1,108 times x by dividing. Write the percent 21 and 54/100% as a decimal. So that's 21.54 over 100 equals part of 1. You could do it this way. So do 100 x equals 21.54 and divide both sides by 100. And you get 0.2154. You could also say I'm changing a percent to a decimal. So you're going to take the decimal and you're going to move it 2 spots to the left. And it does end up there. So you could do either of those options. Carrie and 9 of her friends go to dinner. The total bill comes to $189.70. They decide to leave a 20% tip. Each person will contribute an equal amount to the total tip. Estimate what each person should contribute. So they've got $189 They're going to add a 20% tip. So we need to figure out what the tip amount would be. I'm going to add that 0 at the end. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 7 is 4. Carry a 1. 2 times 9 is 18. 19. Carry a 1. 2 times 8 is 16. Plus 1 is 17. Carry a 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1 is 3. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers after the decimal. So it's 37.94 is the total tip amount. So the total amount they owe is $189.70 plus the amount they're going to tip. So when I add this up, $227.64. Now, there are Carrie and 9 of her friends. That means there are 10 total people. We're going to divide this by 10 to figure out how much each one of them owes. So when you divide that by 10, you get each one of them owe $22.76. Right at it. Use a proportion to solve the problem. 21% of 89. So we've got 21 is part of 100. And we want to know what 21% of 89 is. So 89 is your whole number. You want to put that on the bottom. So we're going to cross multiply. 100 times x is 100x. And then 21 times 89. Okay, that'll be 1,869. Because we have the 100 multiplied by the x, we're going to divide both sides by 100. And 1,869 divided by 100 is 18 69 hundredths. So we used a proportion to find that 21% of 35 is what percent of 210? So I'm going to write it out. 35 is means equals. X times, of means times, 210. So I'm going to divide both sides by 210 to get the x by itself. 35 divided by 210 is 0.166 repeating. So I can change that to a percent by moving the decimal 2 spots to the right. According to the scores on the last math test, 75% or 20 of the students in the class received an A. Find the number of students in the entire class. So 75% is 75 over 100. If 75% was 20 students, we need to know how many are in the entire class. So 75 over 100 equals the part of the class we know over the entire class. So we're going to cross multiply. 100 times 20 is 2,000. 75 times x. And we're going to divide by 75 to get x by itself. What percent of 40 is 28? So what percent, question mark over 100, that's a percent, is equals 28, and the whole number is 40, or the part of the total. So 28 over 40. We're going to cross multiply 100 times 28. So then 28 times 100 is 2,800. Because the 40 is squished up next to that question mark, we're going to divide both sides by 40. So 2,800 divided by 40 is 70. So what percent of 40 is 28? The sales tax rate is 6.5%. Find the tax paid for a pair of earrings with the list price of $75. So we're going to say $75 times a tax rate of 6.5. So remember, to change a percent to a decimal, we need to move it 2 spots. So 0.065. So 75 times 0.065. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry a 2. 5 times 7 is 35. Plus 2 is 37. Since we're going to the next place, we put a 0. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry a 3. 6 times 7 is 42. Plus 3 is 45. Add it up. And we have 3 numbers after the decimal. So we have $4.88 because we have to round up in money when it's 5 or more. Okay, so what is the total cost of the pair of earrings? We've got the tax. That is $4.88. And then the earrings originally cost $75, so we can add that up and get $79.88. Doug is a salesperson in a retail store. He earns $80 per week plus 15% of his weekly sales. If he makes $560 one week, what are his sales? So the first thing we need to do is start and figure out how much he made over his $80. So we're going to subtract his $80 base pay. And we need to borrow here. Make that 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. So he made $480. That $480 was part of his sales. That was 15% out of 100 is 480 out of something. Because remember, he only makes 15% and he made 480. So we're going to cross multiply. 15 times x is 15x. 480 times 100 is 48,000. The 15 is being multiplied by x, so we're going to divide both sides by x. So 48,000 divided by 15. His sales were. Last year, a poll of 1,000 voters conducted by the staff of Senator Chun found that 560 people approved of the job the senator was doing. This year, a new poll of 1,000 voters showed that 421 people approve of the senator's performance. Find the percent of change in the number of voters who approve the senator's performance and identify it as an increase or a decrease. So we're going to always do the amount of change over the original number of, in this case, voters, okay, that approve. So the original number was 560. The amount of change is the two numbers subtracted. So I'm going to subtract these. 10 minus 1 is 9. 5 minus 2 is 7. 5 minus 4 is 1. So I have 179 as the difference over the original amount equals x over 100, because we're looking for a percent. So I'm going to cross multiply, and I get 17,900 equals 560x. We're going to divide both sides by 560. And 17,900 divided by 560 gives us 31.96%. And then we have to identify it as an increase or a decrease. Well, he started at 560 and now he has 421. That amount went down. So the owner of the computer store received a shipment of computers at a cost of $318.85. If he sells the computers for $424.99 each, what is the percent of markup? So we put the change over the original equals x over 100. So the original price was $318.85. And we're going to figure out the difference between these two, the amount of change. So we're going to subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4. 9 minus 8 is 1. 4 minus 8 I can't do. I have to borrow. 14 minus 8 is 6. 1 minus 1 is 0. 4 minus 3 is 1. So $106.14 is the change. So I'm going to put that in my blank. Now we're going to cross multiply. $106.14 times 100 is 10,614. And then we're going to divide both sides by $318.85. No matter how repetitive it gets, make sure you write down every step of these so that you're not forgetting any steps. Okay, so in Store A, a video game that regularly sells for $69.99 is on sale at 20% off. In Store B, the same video game regularly sells for $54.99 and is on sale at 15% off. Which store sells the video game for the lower sale price? So first we're going to say $69.99, and we're going to multiply it by 20%. And we're going to figure out how much of a discount they're getting. So $69.99 times 20% is $13.998 or $14. So that means their video game is $14 off, which makes it $55.99. Okay, then we've got $54.99, and they have it on sale for 15% off. So we're going to multiply $54.99 times 15%. And we get that this one is $8.25 off. So we subtract $54.99 minus their $8.25. And that is $46.74. And this is store B. This whole thing was store A. So which one's cheaper? Find the final balance in the account with $750 invested at 6% annual simple interest for 5 years. So simple interest is I equals PRT. So we're looking for the interest. The principal, $750. That means the original amount put in there. $750 times the rate. We have to change this to a decimal, so 0.06 times 5 years. So I'm just going to multiply this out, and you can use your handy-dandy calculator there. 750 times 6% times 5. So that means the interest they earned on this was $225. But that's not what the question asked. The question asked was find the final balance. Well, they started with $750 and they earned $225 in interest.